Welcome to our Purnachandra Higher Secondary School, Bariuda. So, my dear students, I am your LM sir. Now, I am going to discuss about the second lecture of solution state or solution chapter, which is held in class 12. So, last class we have discussed some concentration term. That's normality, molarity, like that. So today we are going to discuss about the next concentration term, that is mole fraction. Mole fraction. So it is denoted as, that is chi. So mole fraction. What do you mean by mole fraction? At first you have to know that what is mole. What is mole? Mole is a unit of small substance and its value is 6.023 into 10 to the power 23, which is also known as the Avogadro's number. It is also called Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number. So, mole fraction means it is the ratio. It is a ratio between the number of moles of solute or solvent to the total number of moles of solution. So, it is defined as the ratio of the number of moles of solute or solvent to the total number of moles of solution. To the total number of moles of solution. So it is called mole fraction. Now mathematically mole fraction that is chi equal to the number of moles of solute or solvent to the total number of moles of solution. To the total number of moles of solution. So it is called mole fraction. Now the number of moles of solute or solvent. Why it will be written as? Because of the mole fraction is calculated for the solute and solvent separately. If the mole fraction of solute can be calculated, then the number of moles of solute divided by number of moles of solution. So next, the mole fraction of solute. Mole fraction of solute, symbolically I will be present, that is chi for solute. So mole fraction of solute, that equal to number of moles of solute, I can written as the N for solute divided by N of solute plus of N of solvent. So the N of solute, that is number of moles of solute. It is also number of moles of solute plus number of moles of solvent. That is the number of moles of solution. So that is the formula of mole fraction of solute. Like that, the mole fraction of solvent. So number of moles of solvent divided by number of moles of solute plus of number of moles of solvent. So it is also the formula or calculation of number of mole fraction of solvent. It is mole fraction of solute, it is mole fraction of solvent. So number of moles of solute, how can you calculate the number of moles of solute? That is the amount of solute or mass of solute to the molecular mass of solute, or that is also called molar mass of solute. So it is very interesting term, that is also has read in your class 11, that is mole concept. So in your mole concept you have already known that what do we mean by number of moles, what is moles, etc. So it is called number of moles of solute, that is mass of solute divided by molar mass of solute. Like that, the number of moles of solvent, how can you express this? That is number of moles of solvent, that is mass of solvent, that has to be given. Okay, so mass of solvent divided by molar mass of solvent. It is molar mass of solvent. So number of solvent or number of moles of solvent, like mass of solvent divided by molar mass of solvent. So finally I will express with an example. Like, calculate the mole fraction in a of a solution which is contained, that is suppose 20 gram sodium hydroxide NaOH, 20 gram sodium hydroxide present or dissolved in 36 gram of water, then what will be the mole fraction of sodium hydroxide? What will be the mole fraction of sodium hydroxide? The mole fraction of sodium hydroxide or mole fraction of water, that also be calculated. So we know here is number of moles of solute, there is amount of solute, that is given mass of solute. So in a solution which is given that mass of solute, that is mass of solute, that is sodium hydroxide. Here sodium hydroxide is your solute and water is solvent. So mass of solute equal to 20 gram. Now molecular mass of sodium hydroxide, so molar mass of solute, that is sodium hydroxide, that equal to how much? Sodium is 23, oxygen is 16 and hydrogen is 1. So total is 40 gram per mole. 1 mole contain 40 gram of sodium hydroxide. So that will be the mass and molar mass of solute. Now we can calculate the number of moles of sodium hydroxide. The number of moles of sodium hydroxide, that will be mass of solute divided by molar mass of solute, that equal to 20 by 40. So 0.5. That is the number of moles of sodium hydroxide. Now the number of moles of water has also been calculated. So the mass of solvent, that is mass of solvent water. Here solvent is water, so mass of solvent is 36 gram and molar mass of solvent is how much? Hydrogen is 2 number of atoms, so 2 plus of oxygen 16, that is equal to 18 gram per mole. Now the number of moles of water, the number of moles of solvent, that is water. So number of moles of H2O equal to how much? 36 divided by 18, that equal to 2. So number of moles of solvent and it is number of moles of solute. Now we can calculate the mole fraction of solute. What is it here? Solute. Solute is sodium hydroxide. That equal to number of moles of solute, that is number of moles of sodium hydroxide plus of number of moles of sodium hydroxide plus of number of moles of water. Now it is 0.5 and it is 0.5 plus of 2. So 0.5 by 2.5, that will be the answer. Now it is 5 by 1 by 5. So that is the mole fraction of solute. Now you can calculate also the mole fraction of water. Mole fraction of water, that is mole fraction of water also calculate, that equal to number of moles of water divided by number of moles of water plus of number of moles of sodium hydroxide. Now the number of moles of water is how much? 2 divided by 2.5. So there is how much? You can calculate it. So it will be the mole fraction of solute and solvent. Like that you can solve the every problem in your books, that is ABC, non-ABC or your Kalyani publication textbook. Now the second part of today's lecture, that is parts per million, and that will be the last part of your concentration term, that is parts per million, or shortly it is called ppm, parts per million. It is shortly known as ppm. So what do you mean by parts per million? You have already known that what is percentage. What do you mean by percentage? Percentage means the amount of solute out of 100 milliliter of solution. 100 milliliter solutions containing total amount of solute, that is called percentage. Like that, the parts of solute present in a parts of million. That means the parts of solute, which is present in a million parts, of a given solution, that is called your parts per million, that is ppm. So in mathematically it can be expressed ppm, that is ppm, that equal to ppm equal to the parts per million. Suppose the mass of solute divided by volume of solution into 10 to the power 6. We know 1 million equal to 10 to the power 6. That is the value of 1 million. So mass of solute divided by volume of solution into 10 to the power 6. That is called your parts per million. So by this formula you can calculate the parts per million of any solution. So that's the concentration term of solution. Now the second part will be the solubility. Now the solubility. What do you mean by solubility? At first you have to know that what is solubility. Solubility is the amount of solute which can be dissolved in solvent, and it will be the last point or ending point of the solubility or capacity. That is the capacity or the maximum. It can also written as the maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in a specified amount of solvent at a given temperature and pressure. So it is called the solubility. That means no more solute can be dissolved in a solvent. That is the ending point. If you will take an example, suppose it is an example, if you will take a glass of water, then you can dissolve sodium chloride NaCl by spoon wise here. Then if small amount of sodium chloride is put into the glass of water, then it can be dissolved easily, but at a point there will be no salt can dissolve in maximum case. So that will be the solubility of this solution. Now you can express this by two factors. Solubility are divided into two factors. That is, one is called solubility of gas in liquid. At first, solubility of solid in liquid. Another is solubility of gas in liquid. Another is solubility of gas in liquid. So these are the two factors which is expressed by the solubility. Now the solubility of solid in liquid, that means the solid dissolve in liquid and it gets its maximum point or maximum solubility power. So no more solid. Solid means we can take an example by sugar or NaCl, and liquid is water. So we can found the maximum capability of water which can be dissolved, or it will be the given temperature or under condition. So there will be the condition like, and the factors will be effect like temperature, first factor, second factor pressure, and third factor will be the nature of solute and solvent. Nature of solute and solvent. So these are the three factors which are effect to the solubility of solid in liquid. Okay. Now at first we have to go that the temperature. What is the effect of or influence of the temperature in solubility of solid in liquid? That is the temperature. If you will rise the temperature, then the solubility power will be increases. It is directly proportional. Solubility of solid in liquid is directly proportional to the temperature. If you will rise the temperature, then the solubility of solid in liquid will be rise. You can take an example by the water and sugar. In your sweet store, that is, or shop of sweets, there will be the there will be the type of solution is required for rising in temperature. So if you will take a glass and spoon wise sugar is dissolved in water, then the maximum point will be reached by which no more sugar can be dissolved in that point. But you can adding or you can add the sugar large amount by heating or by increase the temperature. If you will increase the temperature, then another sugar or much sugar will be adding or added to the solution. Like that, solubility of solid in liquid will be rise that with the rise in temperature. Now the pressure does not affect to the solubility of solid in liquid. If there will be rise in temperature, that means if there will be a piston is taken, so if we will compress the piston, by which we cannot found any sugar or any adding of sugar in this solution. So pressure does not affect to the solubility of solid in liquid. It does not affect. Okay. Now nature of solute and solvent. It is really very important. Nature of solute. What type of solute is dissolved in what type of solvent? That is, one word is there. That word is like dissolve like dissolve like solution. That means like dissolve like means if you will take the solute is polar, then the solvent is also polar. Polar solute dissolve in polar solvent and vice versa. That means non-polar solute is also non-polar solute dissolve in non-polar solvent. Like that, polar solvent cannot be dissolved in non-polar solvent. So polar solvent, that is polar solute, that is NaCl. NaCl is polar compound. Now dissolved in polar solvent like water. Water is polar, but NaCl cannot be dissolved in kerosene or benzene, which is non-polar solvent. So sodium chloride does not dissolve in kerosene or benzene. That is the solubility of solid in liquid, and these are the factors by affecting to the solubility of solution. Now the solubility of gas in liquid, it is very important. So these factors which are affect like temperature or nature of solute and solvent, nature of solute and solvent exactly similar to the solubility of solid in liquid. Next the temperature, next the pressure. So solubility of gas in liquid, that means here is solute is gas and solvent is liquid. So the solubility of gas in liquid, that means solute is gas and solvent is liquid. If you will add the gas in a solvent, then it can be said that solubility of gas in liquid. Now it can be expressed by the factors affecting to the solubility of gas in liquid, that is the nature of solute and solvent. So nature of solute and solvent like NH3 is dissolved in water because it is polar, it is also polar. But any other gases, it is very strong dissolving power in water. Like that, it can be like dissolved like solution. Now temperature, if you will rise the temperature, then the gas will be removed from the solvent particles, due to which the solubility will be decreases. Now the solubility decreases, or solubility of gas in liquid. Solubility of gas in liquid will be decreases when the temperature increases. So if the temperature will be increased, then the solubility of gas in liquid will be decreased, because there will be no gas can be added because of evaporation, because of the process that is evaporation. So the gas particles which is attract towards the solvent molecules, that will be removed from the solvent molecules and it will be changes its states like vapor state. So it is called evaporation. Now this factor will be affect the solubility of gas in liquid. Last part, which is pressure. How the pressure will affect to the solubility of gas in liquid, that is very, very important. Suppose if we will take a tank or vessel, and that will be the liquid, and these are the gas molecules inside the vessel, and that is piston. So if we will compress the piston, then the gas particles will be collide to the surface of the water molecules and mixed with solvent molecules, that is liquid. Suppose that is liquid and that is the gas molecule. So gas molecules can enter into the solvent particles, so the solubility will be increases. So solubility increases if the pressure will be increases. Suppose pressure increase, then the solubility also increased. Now the application of this factor, that is pressure, which is effect towards the solubility of gas in liquid, a very, very important question that will be arise by 2 marks, which is called Henry law. Its application is very, very useful for Henry's law, and that will be the next part of your solution chapter. So thank you guys. Today your second lectures of solution. Thank you.